Wrestling Maniac Podcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Wrestling Maniac Podcast. One more time, I'm still alive. This is Marvelous Mike, and I wanted to do a podcast and do a review of AEW All-In Wembley Stadium in London, England. And this was a fantastic show. I will say this. As always in the past, I have given my honest opinions, and I will not shy away from giving my honest opinions on this review. I want to say that, briefly, that, as you know, look, this is a hobby for me. I would like for it to turn into something a little bit more. Haven't done it in a while. I'm not no regular YouTuber, and as you can tell from my library, I have made some pretty good predictions in the past, and I'm back. So let's get into the program, shall we? So, live from Wembley Stadium, we have 50,000 fans, and I want to say that the AEW, over the course of their tour of the UK, did tremendous shows, had great fan reactions, and they possibly should consider having a permanent presence in the UK. What I will not cover on this review is I will not cover the pre-show. I did not watch the pre-show, and I'm not going to cover the pre-show. I know that there was returns, there was different ones on the pre-show. That's wonderful, that's great. They wasn't on the main card. All of those things should be on the main pay-per-view. As it is, the pay-per-view was incredibly long. Reminds me of the breakup of what the WrestleMania was going to be. This is AEW's WrestleMania per se, all in, and it's sad that it will not be back to London next year. It will be in Arlington. Who knows? I may go. I doubt it, but I may go to it. But hey, it is what it is. Now, you know me. I mean, I have been very critical of AEW in the past. And it is just not the style that is for me. It may be for you. You may love it. But it's just not been for me. And I want to say that sort of lost interest in AEW right about the time CM Punk left. Really didn't have time to follow all of the pro wrestling that is out there. Primarily stick to the WWE because it's the biggest show in town. It's the one that I'm accustomed to, that I know the characters on, and that's what I do. But hey, I am glad that AEW exists. I want it to thrive. I want it to be better. I want it to be more presentable and in less of a carny show. So let's go ahead and let's get into this. So we start off AEW with the 16. I'm not even going to go. Hold on. I'm looking at this. I'm looking with my notes. So give me some time here. Yada, yada, yada. Yada, yada, yada. So anyway, it is what it is. And we start off with the London ladder match AEW Trios Championship. Now I want to say this. I have had my doubts about the Trios Championship. I know that it's existed in the past in earlier wrestling promotions in the NWA. I really kind of have come to dig it because I think, number one, it gets more people involved in the product, and I kind of like it. At the same time, it has caused a little bit of a detriment to the tag team division in AEW, the division which distinguished AEW when it was founded was the tag team division. And I don't like that. They need to work it out. They need to have certain people in the tag team division and all this. So I'll get into what my thoughts are on AEW going forward. But all in all, I was glad to see Pac get his moment at Wembley Stadium. That was great. Pac's a great talent. Cesaro, he's good. I like this Wheeler guy. I'm not Kuta Wheeler. I'm not a I really don't know that much about him. I really haven't seen him much. But he seems to be a bright and shining star there in AEW. And so we adding to the dynamic of Blackpool Combat Club, which is Bryan Danielson is a part of. I really thought that this was going to be a foreshadowing of things to come in the main event, but turns out it really wasn't. But it was overall, it was good. I mean, I like this dynamic that it tells stories in the ring. I look at people like Malachi Black, and I am so sad that he's not there on preeminent stage. I mean, it should have been Malachi Black should have had a singles title versus match is Okada. That would have been a good match for the card that would have been there. But anyway, it was what it was, and we move on to the next match. And the next match, which I thought was arguably the best match on the card, and I felt this match should have been right before the main event. They should have built it as a co-main event, elevating the women's division. It was Toni Storm, timeless Toni Storm, versus Mariah May. What a tremendous story going into this match. Now it kind of fell flat. They're building up to this match, but I don't know. It was still, it was other than Bryan Danielson versus Swerve. This was the best match on the card. This was better than MJF and Will Ospreay. It had more story in it, and it should have been right before that match with Bryan Danielson. But that's not what we got. Well, we got a historic match. We got a match that told a great story in the ring, as I said, even after going off the air. And I'm looking to see what things is going to be happening, particularly with timeless Toni Storm. She's got a great gimmick there that I think that there is tremendous stories yet to be told. And definitely give this match from my interpretation, of a 5-star match. Next we get the FTW Championship book versus Chris Jericho. Whatever. I mean, this is under the flavor of the old ECW style matches. To me, I mean, Hook is a good talent. He is continuing to improve, but he just simply is not a believable character that can overcome 3 individuals. It would have been better to leave the FTW Championship on Chris Jericho. If Chris Jericho is not going to take an extended break, which he probably should do, take an extended break from AEW, work behind the scenes more. He feels at home there in AEW, and that's his choice. But I don't really get this. Big Bill for whatever reason, was the second coming of Big John Studd in AEW in London. They need to build off that. It's very sad that such a talented individual is relegated to such a mediocre role within AEW. He needs his time to shine, and I agree with what listening to some others and other podcasts. I really believe that it would be beneficial if they would bring Enzo back, and they could be a tag team. Go against the Acclaim, it would be great. You got to build that tag division back. But this match, I wasn't a fan of it. Not believable. Hook is, he is what he is. It's good to see Taz get involved at the end, but just not for me. And if it is for you, that's great. I'm happy for you. If that's your thing. So next we have the three-way dance for the AEW World Tag Team Championship. I want to say, I think we've seen enough of the Young Bucks for a while. They, at this point, need to focus on being executives, backstage roles, and helping younger talent. For them to retain the talent, or for them to retain the tag team championships, really is a testament to where the division is at. Seen that, done that, need something new. They need some different life in the tag team division in AEW. After all, this is what the whole company was built upon years ago, was tag team wrestling. And it's different than the trios title. To me, the trios title is wacky, fun, unpredictable. That tag team wrestling needs to be tag team wrestling. They need to have specific teams in tag team wrestling. It was totally misbooked. The Acclaim should have won the tag team championship. For the Young Bucks not to have them put them over and have a chokehold on the tag team championship is completely wrong. It is the wrong direction. And FTR, they were in this match simply for the case, number one, to get the pin, to be pinned, and number two, simply just so they would have a spot on the card. To me, they have enough on the roster to be able to do this. To me, I would have like a U.S. title tag team division for them that was separate. That is sort of where the proving grounds, where they are the top tag teams, where they're the world tag teams or something. Let's build the tag division back. A lackluster match, C- at best. I know they did good job in the ring, but still yet, just nothing there for me. It's about as drawn out as the tag team division is in the WWE. The WWE, they need to do away with one of their tag team belts, and they need to make it a trios title, and put the trios title on the Bloodline. That's my opinion on that. And I think the trios title adds new elements into the growing rosters of both divisions. So that's kind of the way I feel on that. And I know a lot of people won't agree with that, but you know what? I really could care less. So I want to get into the next match. Why wasn't this the third match on the card? I don't understand. This is Will Ospreay. This is MJF. This is arguably two of the best, or the two best wrestlers on the planet. And here they are drowning still in the mid-card. It was a good match back and forth. Of course, I'm going to give it an A on the match. At least 4.5 stars on this match. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm not Dave Meltzer, and I'm a little bit more strict on why I hand out my ratings. And if you don't like it, deal with it. And MJF is the best heel in the business. He should be at least in the top 10, top 8 of performers in the world today. And he is such a young age, has such potential. It goes to prove that heels makes the baby state is vital to getting the baby face over. Even though Will Ospreay is already over, he took it to match to an entirely different level. I like the fact that maybe potentially there is more stories to be told here for MJF. He has plausible deniability that this even happened, and still somehow to get a hold of the America's title again and be the America's title champion in AEW. That would be interesting for me, and going forward and continuing this persona that he is, because he is able to do that and able to work with that. Next, we have the TBS Championship with Britt Baker and Mercedes Moné. This should have been the first match This should have been the first match on the card. The reason why it's not is because Mercedes Moné, she's overrated as a professional wrestler, and I do not really have that high regard of her, simply because she brings nothing to the table, and she is a personality. She has a draw. It would have been better if she would have started off this started off instead of this position. She should not be higher. Should not be in a higher position than what the women's world champion is. There was no difference. This match was flat. And I'll say it seemed that Britt Baker did not want to be there. And, oh well, that's just my opinion. This match wasn't nothing. Particularly, it should not have followed MJF and Will Ospreay. That was detrimental to, if anything else, the match that should have followed Will Ospreay and this match. It would have been the coffin match with Darby Allin and Jack Perry. And again, I'm forgetting Jack Perry's name because anyway. So that match was kind of flat for me. And so let's go ahead and go into the Darby Allin Jack Perry match. Darby Allin comes out. He has thumbtacks glued on his face. And this is such a carny match. At this point in the card, so irrelevant. I mean, to have Sting come out was good. I think that this was a good nostalgia feel. This definitely should not have been in this position. This match should have not. It was a C- match. There was nothing to this match. Nothing that interests me at all. And it was completely irrelevant. Now, I did forget to mention the Casino Battle Royale, or Casino Gauntlet match, rather. Now, this was an okay idea. It was good to see Nigel Guinness. It was good to see the debut of Ricochet. But you're going to debut Ricochet and you're not going to have him win. Why? It makes no sense. To me, the match that's everyone wants to see is Ricochet versus Will Ospreay. We got to get to that point. Christian Cage winning this match and to have a chance at the world title match. At this point in the game, I really don't see why you would want Christian Cage as your world champion. Maybe 5-10 years ago. But, I mean, I see him as an international champion. I see him as a continental champion. Why the continental championship exists is beyond me. But because, that needs to be supplanted by the America's champion, which makes more sense. To have Okada in this match with no stakes of losing the Continental Championship makes no sense to me. He wants to go for the World Championship, that's fine, but he needs to put the Continental Championship. Perhaps that's the reason why that AEW needs an authority figure against for giving Brian, we're going to have Brian Danielson, but we're getting Chris Danielson in that role, which I guess is okay, but there's no stakes, for Okada, and definitely he should have, in order to be in this match, he should have been able to put up the title. That would have been like a double prize there, and have him be the final one at the end. The reason why I didn't like this is because it wasn't an elimination. It wasn't an elimination type match. They've got to work out the kinks of this. I can understand the Adam Page dynamic here, which was good. That was one of the good things that AEW did, but not to have this in the factored in. The whole Continental title kind of cheapens the title. Them having way too many titles in AEW and individual titles in AEW. So that is kind of my thoughts on this. Was, like I said, it's good to see Ricochet. He should have won. It was on debut. He should have won. Raise the stakes. You have your guy. You don't debut your guy, a new guy at like a Ricochet level, and not have him win. That makes no sense at all to me. So that's my thoughts on that match. Let's go to the World Championship match. Bryan Danielson versus Swerve Strickland. Swerve Strickland, tremendous athlete. He definitely deserves to be in the world title picture. I would like to see him develop more character. I want to, to me, this was Rocky versus Apollo Creed. And I would like to see Swerve Strickland take more on that persona of Apollo Creed. That would be good. I don't know what's going to happen. None of us knows what's going to happen on AEW Dynamite. That is certain. It was very well told story in the ring. Everybody, and I don't mean to use the word, it kind of swerved everybody because everyone thought that this was going to be Bryan Danielson's last match. If it would have been his last match, it would have been one hell of a way to go out. On AEW, it would have, on AEW Dynamite, this is what I would like to see. Everybody talks about all the dynamics and everything going for that, but Tony Khan is really big on tournaments. And I really think that on AEW Dynamite that Bryan Danielson needs to do, that he needs to go out on top. He needs just to come and retire. And retire as champion. And go off into the sunset, spend time with his family, do what he wants to do, work behind the scenes in a lead position in AEW if that's what he chooses to do, or go back to WWE. But he likes what's going on in AEW. Let him be one of these guys in the back that really has a preeminent role in AEW. And I think that would be a good thing. So it was a great match. Definitely 5 stars. The storytelling was great. Overall, I think that this was a good show. Like I said, as I mentioned, there's a lot of things that I would like to see happen that hasn't happened. I would like to have definitely, there needs to be work on placing matches on the card. Again, this comes back that it all falls at the feet of Tony Khan, and these matches were not placed on the card in the right order. To not have Jamie Hayter debut back in the Mercedes Moné Britt Baker match was a mistake because of the history that was there. Heard that none of them, both of them want to work with her, but you know what? It's about making money, and that's what people want to see. So let them have what they want to see and do the job and get off your high horse and do business. So what does AEW do going forward? I think that AEW needs to seriously look at having one of their shows exclusively produced in the UK. I think that they could really build some great repertoire with the UK fan base to have a major promotion over there, to have one show over there. It's not like they could probably work and get a TV deal somewhere. Maybe they could get on Sky News or Sky News, but they could get on the Sky Channel over there, make their product where it is there. It could be presentable, not just simply a place to go visit, but to have a home there. The WWE is just visiting, doing shows there, doing tours there, and it could be an avenue for which the AEW could generate a lot of revenue to make use of some of the local talent, Zack Sabre Jr., the grizzled young veterans, these people like this. I believe that was really good, but where are they going to go forward with that? That's what is the question, and is the storytelling on the shows now going to fall off from what they are on the pay-per-views? They need stories for everybody that's on the card, everybody that's in the show, from ROH, Collision, Rampage to Dynamite. They need story, they need writers, they need it, and it is not utilizing your talent, and it is the reason why that the crowds have fallen off in the United States. It doesn't have to do with the WWE. AEW needs to completely forget about the WWE. They're not in the same business as the WWE. They're on just an entirely different level. They're not going to compete with them, not unless WWE drops the ball, and business will taper off in the WWE. It always does in the wrestling business. They need to really focus on their brand, and they need to differentiate their products, that people, when they come and they view ROH, they're getting a different product. ROH needs to go back to its roots. When they look at Dynamite, Dynamite needs to be your mainstream show for your mainstream audience, and move forward with that in order to build that audience, in order to be able to get those deals with Warner Brothers Discovery, which I do hope they get. And because I want to see AEW thrive. At all my criticism, I want to see AEW thrive. I would like to see either Collision or Rampage be a, per se, more indie type show, to where it's more hardcore. And that's where you have like your FTW title, you have take one of your other titles, your Continental title or something like that. Make that be the preeminence in that brand. Maybe move that over to the UK, or move Rampage over to the UK. Do something there. I think there's tremendous potential, bro, and to come off of this show. But will AEW do it? That's the question. What will AEW do? Or will they go back to the same old crap of what they've been having, to where they don't have the good crowds? It's very good that Tony Khan is utilizing Texas. I think that there is growth there. There's potential there. I would definitely just produce a show in Texas. I think that that's good. This is what I see. This is what I would do. You have a tremendous roster that you can work with, and failure to be able to utilize this roster and buying into all the backstage antics is really not benefiting anyone. If AEW, it's been 5 years, AEW has not shown a profit, and this is a big deal. I mean, we can theorize all different things of why it's not working, but the business has dropped off in the United States, and not so in the UK, but business has dropped off in the United States, and I think that it is possible to build that back up. But you're going to have to work on your product. You're not going to have a carny show. You're going to have a mainstream show. And you're going to have a roster that is divided into specific shows. They can use events throughout the year to be able to cross over, which would be good. But it's completely going into AEW and restructuring the entire brand and making it more viable and a more viable business structure. I think that it's impossible. I think that it is possible for it to grow, as I said before. But anyway, these are my thoughts, my feelings. Overall, great show. I'm glad to see that they did have a good show, that they delivered on this show. It was great for London. Now let's see what they do. Dynamite. There might be a big hype. Come to tune in to see what happens off of this show. And then it's probably going to taper back off, because there will be no stories told. There will be no development and no utilization of all of the older professional wrestlers out there that really have an idea of how to really grow successful business model in this. And so anyway, this is my thoughts, my ideas. You can agree with them, you can hate them, I really don't care. But this is Marvelous Mike and my review. I'm back, and I'm going to be doing some more of these reviews and shows. And I hope y'all enjoyed the show, and I hope y'all keep watching wrestling. You have a great day. Bye-bye.